News for New York presents Positively Black.
Well, it's not often discussed, but the facts are frightening. When it comes to colon cancer, the American Cancer Society found that African Americans have the highest death rate and the shortest rate of survival of any racial or ethnic group, but it is preventable. Dr. Lynn O'Connor is a colorectal surgeon and the director of Women's Colorectal Care Program at Pro Health Care Associates. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is the third highest cancer rate amongst African Americans when it comes to all cancers, is that right?
Actually, it's the third most commonly diagnosed cancer period in the United States of America, and it's suspected most common cause of cancer death.
Well, the common question is, why is it affecting African Americans so severely now?
Well, it's really something that is concerning because stage for stage, African Americans are diagnosed at higher. Their diagnoses are a more advanced disease. They have a lower survival, a higher mortality, and really I think it's because of socioeconomic factors and disparities in access to health care.
Like I said, it's not something we talk about all of the time, but
absolutely.
I'm wondering, when patients come into your office for the first time, what are the symptoms, or are there any symptoms right away?
Well, actually, we try to get them before there are symptoms.
Okay.
Which is why screening is normally recommended for age 50.
50
but
and
for
up.
African Americans, we're looking to do it at 45, simply because of when they're diagnosed, it's usually at advanced stages. But if a patient is presenting with symptoms, we're talking about rectal bleeding, change in bowel habits, the color, the consistency, the frequency, weight loss, things of that nature. Those are the abdominal pain, rectal pain. Those are the things that patients present with, and usually when they're presenting, it's advanced.
Now, we talked about the fact that this can be preventable. Again, we don't like to talk about it, but screening is key. So here we are talking about colonoscopies.
Absolutely.
I walk into your office, what do I expect the first time I have a colonoscopy?
Well, in order to have a colonoscopy, preparation is key. So I tell all my patients a clear liquid diet.
You got to drink that nasty stuff, though. You got to drink that nasty
There's
stuff.
several different types of preparations that we have, but it's really important to make sure that you have the clear liquid diet and you take the preparation as prescribed by your doctor. That's going to make sure that we have a clean colon and we can see what we need to see.
And we're looking now at some of the things you may see when the camera goes in there. What are the red flags that you may see?
Well, you can usually see a polyp, and that's a fleshy growth that comes out from the mucosa, the lining of the colon. Sometimes we see cancers. Sometimes patients have little pockets that are called diverticulosis. A lot of patients have hemorrhoids. So, you know, those are the things that we're looking for, because if we can get those polyps before they become cancerous, then we've done what we need to do with screening, and it's prevent the colon cancer.
Well, finally, preventing colon cancer, diet and exercise, we hear that all the time. But one of the things that you mentioned, vitamin D exposure. Why is it a little more vitamin D needed, and how do you get that?
That's really interesting. They're not exactly sure what the whole mechanism is behind the vitamin D exposure, but usually just getting out into the sunlight. We don't do that. We get up very early in the morning. It's dark. We
yes,
come into
I
our
know,
offices.
Dr. O'Connor. We get up very early in the morning.
And it's dark in our offices, and when we get out, it's dark. But, you know, either if you're not going to be able to get that sunlight, then you can just take what we call exogenous vitamin D with vitamin supplements, and also trying to get it in your food.
But finally, it is preventable.
It is. Colon cancer is something that's extremely preventable with proper diet, exercise, fighting obesity, avoiding a sedentary lifestyle, alcohol in moderation, completely avoiding smoking, and getting your screening colonoscopies. And at least for the African American population, they need to be screened at 45.
It's something to start talking about. Dr. O'Connor, thank you so much for being here.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.